What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of It's No Coincidence, your weekly dose of real talk and inspiration. And today, our guest is Just Huge. How are you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Chilling,
Yeah, we
enjoying the weekend.
yes, sir. We were talking a little bit before we hopped on here. This is our first time kind of meeting face to face, but we've been following
Oh,
each
that's
other's
real.
content and everything like that. And I think we're gonna have a lot to talk about today.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just kind of want to start off like letting the audience get to know who you are a little bit. Content creation, you talk a lot about media, but what exactly, like, what's that passion there? And like, why did you decide to turn it into, making content around it?
Um, so I think like for me, recently I feel like I've kind of been trying to get into journalism, whether it's
Oh,
in
okay.
like music, whether it's in like hip hop, film, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like it's needed. There's so many narratives out there. There's so many people trying to push agendas and make things seem like what they're not. So I feel like it was kind of my job to use social media to my benefit to highlight the things that I like and highlight the things that people in the community are doing. So I feel
Yeah.
like for me, I always loved art as a kid. I always loved music. I always loved, film. And this was just it's something that I did on a part time. I never really thought I'd kind of just blow up on social media and everything and
Mm-hmm.
become bigger than that. But yeah, like literally it's been probably like 4 years since the pandemic, and I've had the opportunity to go to film festivals, the opportunity to meet cool people, meet people like you. So yeah, it's a passion of mine. It's a hobby. It's not really like I don't it's not a job for me,
Mm-hmm.
but I do get good opportunities because of it. So I don't take it for granted.
That's amazing. So like you get invited out to those festivals and stuff like that?
For yes, yes.
That's
So
dope.
where I'm from Texas. So I get the opportunity to, hit up the film festivals in Austin every now and then. And it's a cool cultural exchange. I get to see a lot of filmmakers, a lot of up and coming actors, and a lot of
That's
times
awesome.
it'll be people who you don't really know until they blow
Mm-hmm.
up. So it's cool to see those up and coming artists. It's really cool to see that.
Absolutely. I think that'd be amazing. Like, are you like when it comes to film and everything like that, are you someone that's really like do you pay attention to like those like kind of smaller indie films and things like that as well? Or is it just kind of
Oh,
like
for
the
sure.
big cultural releases?
Um, I think it's both. I think it's both because you need both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm watching the blockbusters. Yeah, I'm watching Alien. Yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
watching the new and up and coming films and stuff like that. But I like to support those movies that don't get recognition every now and then. Those movies that only go to streaming sometimes. So
For
it's
sure.
it's cool to help a release become more successful, and it's also I just love putting people on. It's if someone's talented, I feel like they should get visibility. And I feel like they should get
Mm-hmm.
more opportunities. So I feel like as a fan, as a consumer, I'm a fan first.
Yeah.
Um, that's really how I approach things. Like if I like something, I'm gonna put my friends onto it. I'm gonna tell them to watch it. I'm gonna tell my family to watch it. So it's just I feel like social media has kind of made like word of mouth so much bigger and so much more
Yeah.
impactful.
For sure. Like what okay, real quick then. What are some of like the movies you've seen this summer that you would recommend to people?
Ooh, dude, I've seen a couple movies. I've kind of been on the back burner just because I've been so busy and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
recently, I saw the Alien film. That was freaking good.
I haven't seen
Um,
any Alien movies
dude, you
outside
gotta
of
watch. Hey,
the
Sigourney Weaver.
I for sure. The
Yeah,
only one
man.
I've seen back in the day was Alien vs Predator. That's it. That's all I've seen.
Those are okay. Those are
Hmm.
okay. You remember the one with what's it, Sanaa Lathan? You remember those
That was the one
ones?
with wasn't that Alien vs Predator?
Yeah, there was two. So there's like
Oh, there was two. Oh, okay, well that's the
yeah,
one I saw. Was the one with Sanaa Lathan. That's the one I
yeah,
saw.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, she actually ate that. I'm not gonna lie, she killed it.
So the new one was good though.
Yeah, but the new one was good. Um, I don't know if you've seen Civil War, But
No, I heard
what's her name?
I think that just went on streaming. I was thinking about watching that.
Yeah, dude, watch it. I
Yeah.
think it's on HBO Max. Watch
Yeah.
that. Callie, I think it's Callie Spaney. She's in that too. So she
Mhm.
was the main actor that was in Alien. And
Oh,
bro, she
okay.
can act. She could act her ass off. She's freaking great. She's good.
Fire.
She doesn't miss.
Man, I think the blockbuster I liked the most was surprising to me. I liked and I saw a ton of movies this summer. I feel like a ton of stuff came out, but like the one that always sticks with me is like the best like theater experience was actually Twisters. I really
No,
liked
dude.
Twisters.
No, Twisters, bro. Twisters. Okay, now first off, I've never seen the first Twister,
Oh, okay.
but this one, bro, it. I actually think it's a top 10 movie of the year. I didn't
Okay,
think
I'm not mad
it
at
was
you.
gonna be that good. I
I'm
didn't
not
think it was
mad
gonna
at
be
you for
that
that.
good because I mean it's just tornadoes. Like, what do you expect,
Yeah.
bro? Like, it actually had a nice little message to it. And Glenn Powell, man, like he might actually be like one of the last movie stars to ever exist because we don't have those
Yeah.
now. Because when he's
He's
in
definitely
something, man, he's killing it.
what I
He's
wanna
killing
know
it. Like,
is he getting to the point where because like, a movie star to me doesn't have to do with popularity. A movie star to
oh, for
me has to
sure.
be people go and watch the movie because that person is
Regardless,
in it.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
It could be trash. It could be a horrible movie. But like, if
Mhm.
Denzel's in it,
You
he's
gonna
gonna
watch it.
carry.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we don't even care if it's bad. Like Denzel, he's
Right?
gonna come through and make the movie seem better than it actually
Facts.
is.
Like, I don't know if he's gonna be in Gladiator 2 for 5 minutes, but I'm gonna go watch it because he's in it. Like,
Exactly.
I'm being I'm
Exactly.
being
That's the
so
only
real.
reason why we need a second film of his. And bro,
Yup.
Denzel's probably been waiting on this for his whole entire life, bro. I
Mhm.
don't think he's ever been in a period piece. Like, there hasn't been an
Ooh.
opportunity where he's had the opportunity. I think he's been like, he was in
You're
that one
right.
with Keanu Reeves, I think. But
Yeah,
in terms
wait,
of
he
like
was in a
other
movie with
period
Keanu
piece,
Reeves?
yeah, he was in a. I'm for sure he was in a movie with Keanu Reeves. I can look it up. I'm
Hmm.
not sure,
I
but
hold on, I wanna see hold on, I wanna see Denzel Keanu Reeves movie.
yeah, Glenn Powell.
Much Ado About
I'd say
Nothing? Is that
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that came out in '93. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think I've only seen parts of it. I might have saw it maybe one time,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm only gonna see that movie because of Denzel and because I like the first one. Um, who's that? Is I'm trying to figure out which Scott it is.
Russell
The that
Crowe?
directed
Or
or nah,
was it
the
Ridley
director.
Scott?
Oh, yeah, it is really, it is really. I like his movies.
Yeah. Wait,
It's
Ridley
really.
that's Alien too, right? Ridley Scott? Or is that
I think you're right. Yeah, Alien 1979. Ridley
Yo,
Scott and the one Prometheus. Yeah, he did
damn.
Prometheus too.
Yo, Ridley Scott has a catalog.
Yeah, bro, and Blade Runner
Yeah.
and
So,
Martian.
talking about like movie stars, who would you say is like one of your favorite movie stars?
Who's one of my favorite movie stars? Up and coming or like greatest all time?
Well, let's both.
Both. Okay, so
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking about Denzel, so I'm gonna go with Denzel, man.
Denzel.
Um,
Okay.
and I know a lot of people say he doesn't have that much range, but he
Hmm.
doesn't need it. He's Denzel.
Yeah,
He
I
can
feel
do
like
anything.
there's some people that don't need range. Like
Exactly.
they say that about Will Smith too. Even though I feel like Will Smith does have range, I feel like people
Oh, for
kind of
sure. Will
they be
Smith has
lying
more
about that.
range than he can do more than Denzel. Like
Yeah,
he can be in a comedy and then also be in a very serious drama and stuff like that.
for sure.
But
That was actually another really good movie. I was surprised how much I liked it. Bad Boys 4.
four,
Or is it 5?
yeah, it's
4,
four.
right?
It's four.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That was
Ride or
way
die
better
or
than I
whatever.
thought it was gonna be.
It
That's
actually
either my
was.
favorite movie out of the series or right behind 2. One of the 2. I can't decide
Okay.
yet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Bad Boys, man. Yeah, that's also one of those movies that are in the top 10 for me. But yeah, it kind of makes me think like how long are they going to be able to do it? Like cuz they're getting
Eh,
older. Will
they are
Smith,
getting
he's not
older,
the same
but
age as he
Imma
used to be.
watch every single one that they release.
You're going to be in the theaters. He's going to be
For
72. It's
sure.
going to be Bad Boys 10.
Yep. I mean, I've told this story a lot of times on my platform, but I will keep on saying it because I'm trying to manifest something here. So, like so I had told you before we got on that I have cystic fibrosis. So I did
Yeah.
Make a Wish Foundation when I was like 10, and
Oh,
I
word.
got to meet Will Smith. So
You're kidding.
yeah, no, it
Okay.
was really cool. They flew me out to LA. It was actually on his birthday, which was crazy. So they like shut down a part of Universal Studios, and it was like an arcade there. And then I think there was like four other families that were there to meet him with my family, and like yeah, it was really cool. And I'm trying to have a full circle moment of meeting him one more time. But
Nice.
yeah, like so Will's my guy. Like I love Will Smith. And so that would be my like my movie star that I would rank as my
Gotcha.
number one. He's my guy.
Yeah.
Um and up and coming, like I don't really know
Yeah. It's
up
kind of
and
a tough
coming movie
question
stars.
because
Like
there's
I was
not a
trying to
lot
think of
of.
like a black dude movie, like up and
A
coming
word.
superstar,
You
and
know
I
what?
can't think
Aldous
of none.
Hodge. Aldous Hodge.
Who's that?
So he played Dr. Dre in the Straight Outta
Oh,
Compton.
okay.
No, he didn't play Dr. Dre. He played
Oh,
MC
not
Ren,
Dr.
I
J.
think.
Wait,
Yeah, he
who'd he
played
play?
MC Ren.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
What else
yeah.
is he in?
He bro, so he's been in a lot of shit. He's been in a lot of
Really?
shows. That's a good
He actually
question. I
was
don't
in
even.
something I just watched. What was he
Yeah.
in?
He was in Black Adam, Hawkman.
That's
You
not what
remember
I
that?
was thinking. Yeah, I didn't watch Black Adam. I didn't watch it. The
I don't blame you. It's
Yo, The
trash.
Rock, I don't know how I feel about The Rock's movies, like dead ass. I don't know. Like I like Jumanji.
Jumanji's good. I think he's
Uh,
just going a little bit too far with um I don't know the type of movie he's making.
have
Like,
you seen that one that's
oh,
coming out for Christmas? That Santa Claus one?
it doesn't look bad. It
It
doesn't. Well,
doesn't.
I mean,
I'm
but
taking
it
my
doesn't
son to
look
watch that
great.
though. It's gonna be hilarious, man.
It doesn't
That's gonna
look
be
bad,
great.
but it doesn't look great. It's supposed to be on Netflix, right?
No, it's coming into the movies.
It's coming to the movie theater. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah,
about that.
yeah. No,
I don't
I'm
know.
liking how we're getting like we need to get some of these kind of like not super big budget, just creative non-sequel movies in Hollywood. I feel like
Yeah,
we need stuff like that.
yeah. They need
Um,
to take risks, man. They need to take risks.
for sure. So like when it comes to film, when it comes to movies, like what do you love about the art form?
Um, I think I like films that are able to connect with, like, if they have a cultural impact, they're able to connect with the culture
Yeah.
and they're able to engage the audience in that way. Like, it's one thing to, have a big box office film, try and make something that's formulaic and trendy,
Mhm.
but I feel like it's just another thing when it becomes like a cultural, like like characters and films and lines and iconic lines
Mhm.
become cultural, just sayings, things that we put in our culture all the time. So I think I just like,
Yeah.
not just the art form, the director's vision and the storytelling and just the meaning behind film. I also
Mhm.
just like, just the art itself. Like, what type of camera do they use?
Oh,
What
you're
type
into it
of.
like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
nah,
Okay.
seriously, like I'll be deep into it, bro. I'll be deep into it, like the
Love
lighting
that.
of films. Um,
That's
I feel
something
like
like
a lot of.
that conversation, I see that permeating throughout the culture right now, the whole,
Oh,
like,
dude, I see
lighting
that all the time.
debate. Yeah, yeah.
I see that all the time on Twitter, Insta. Like, people talk about lighting of Marvel films. It's just very
Mhm.
dull. Um, and when you really look at it, it's true. But yeah, I like culture, and I think that movies can be a reflection of the times and the
Yes.
things that we're going through in the moment. So that's
Yes.
that's what I really like. I like meaning. That's what movies are supposed to have. They're supposed to have meaning and they're supposed to make you feel something.
Yes.
And that's film to me.
I agree
I
on
don't know
all
about everyone
accounts.
else, but that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, I went to college for creative writing. So when it comes to movies and stuff, I'm always paying attention to the writing of everything. That's kind of like my passion with it. And yeah, I think like you were saying, the meanings, the having people feel something. Like I don't remember a ton of like tips and stuff that my professors would give me, but there was one where he said that the most important part of writing is the empathy that the reader, the viewer, or whoever gains from the movie, the book, whatever. And I really took that with me because I feel like that's so true. And I feel like when you're talking about making art that kind of resembles what we're going through as a culture and gives a voice to things, like, man, I feel like that's like missing in a way. I do. I
Mm.
feel like it's missing in a way. I don't know if it's just because Hollywood isn't really investing in those original type of movies as much and we're getting like a ton of blockbusters and sequels and all that. But I will say things that are coming to streaming like on Apple TV, Max, like stuff like that. I feel like that's kind of where we're getting, in my opinion, those more like artistic type films that are focused more.
I think I can kind of agree with you because theater, if it seems like, or it seems like a lot of studios may feel like putting big films in theater, it's a big risk.
I mean,
So
it
like,
is for sure.
it
Yeah.
is. But that's funny because a lot of times the movies that are on streaming, like I was just watching Rebel Ridge with Aaron Pierre,
Oh
the
yeah, I'm
Netflix
watching that
movie.
like
Yeah,
tomorrow.
dude.
Yeah, yeah,
So I was watching that, and to be honest with you, that was a better release than half of the stuff that I've seen in theaters sometimes because I mean, obviously it hits home, it
yeah.
hits home. It has, that message behind it. It has, a good lead actor and everything like that. But the story is good. And that's
Yeah.
all that
I
really
heard it's gonna
matters.
get
Just
like
like
some Oscar like hype behind
it
that movie.
might. It's that, I
Yeah.
mean, it's really that good. I mean, I don't know like what's gonna come out within the year, but I feel like movies like that, they get swept under the rug because of streaming. And
Hmm.
a lot of times they don't get the Oscar consideration, they don't get the Emmy consideration, this and that, or whatever it
For
is.
sure.
So I feel like a shift definitely needs to happen with modern film. Like,
Hmm.
yes, we can have our Marvel movies. That's cool. A lot of times we want to go out and see, Superman, this and that, Batman. But
Hmm.
new films, there needs to be variety. Like, it can't all be just big IP. It has to be something new. Like,
Absolutely.
there has to be new film for us to for the art form to really flourish, I think.
Yeah. You know, on that note, because I know you like Marvel a lot too. How are you? Because I feel like this kind of marries what we were talking about with movie stars and kind of like this original IP and all that stuff. What are your feelings on the whole Robert Downey Jr. being Doom
I don't
situation? Are
like
you
it.
you say
I'll
you
be
do or
honest with
don't?
you. I hate it. I
Oh,
hate
you
it. There's
hate?
no
Okay, you
reason
hate
to
it.
do it. There's no reason
Okay.
to do it. I think yeah, I think it was just a cash grab. Like, there's not really a reason to bring him back other than to bring fans back.
Mm-hmm.
Um yeah, and there's not really a story to tell with Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom. I don't know. Maybe I mean, there's plenty of actors that have played multiple roles in the MCU, and
Mm-hmm.
I get that. But the MCU thrives on continuity, and I
Mm-hmm.
think there's not really a point to have a lead actor pay him 95 million and have him be the next big bad of the entire
Mm-hmm.
universe. It just, to me, that's a bad business decision. You're banking on an actor who's worth, I mean, he's worth that. I get it. He's worth 95 million. But what about the story itself? What about who's writing it? What about the
Mm-hmm.
people in visual effects? Like, they're not getting paid that
Yeah. See,
95
that's
million
my
to be a
problem
part of
with it
that
too.
movie. I just feel like that's a bad,
Yeah.
and maybe I'm overstepping my boundaries. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, but to me it just doesn't make any sense.
I
I
mean,
don't get
as
it.
far as the paycheck, I agree with you 100%. Like, I don't think, like, I have no problem with someone getting $100 million check, but it's with the disparity, which is the problem. Like, you just had the writer strike and all that from not getting enough pay,
Exactly.
and crews don't get enough pay and all that kind of stuff. So giving someone, because like, yeah, like you pay Robert Downey Jr. $100 million, you're probably going to see profit off of it. To be like, just from him
You
being in
will,
the movie, he in the
for
MCU
sure.
specifically, he has, he's gonna make them more than $100 million for sure.
Yeah, oh,
Um,
agreed.
but from the story standpoint, I agree. I get why they did it because it's something that will absolutely overshadow, Jonathan Majors dropping, getting fired from being Kang. It'll overshadow that, it'll be um And then, like, a lot of people wanted to go back to the whole, like, Phase 3 vibe and all that kinda stuff. And so, I mean,
Yeah.
they're really heavily relying on nostalgia between Robert Downey
And
Jr. and then
that's the
supposedly there's, like,
problem.
rumors that Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire are gonna be, like, the main characters for Secret Wars, which I don't like that at all. I don't
I
like
don't
that.
like that.
Like,
Just
what about all the
like
new
to
heroes that we're
me,
getting? Like, why are we having Hugh
exactly.
Jackman and Tobey Maguire as the main characters? I don't like that. I hope that's not true. It's just a rumor. I hope that's not true at all. That would be terrible. I would not like
Yeah.
that.
I don't agree with it, man. I don't agree with it. I think the nostalgia bait is, while it's gonna make a lot of money, it's not going to make good film, and
Mhm.
you're gonna turn away a lot of people. I feel like
Yeah,
I might
probably.
retire myself from the MCU and everything, and from Marvel in general, because if there's not a story to be told, if there's nothing there,
Mhm.
you just kind of get bored of things that are just very repetitive.
Yeah.
And to me, there's no reason to have Wesley come back. And I understand Deadpool. I don't know if have you seen the third
Yeah, I've
Deadpool
seen the new
film?
one.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the I think the third Deadpool movie was kind of a critique of that. It was a
Oh, for
critique
sure.
of,
Direct critique.
bringing back, those old Fox, just the Fox
Mhm.
and Disney merger as a whole. It was a critique on that, and it was very meta and self aware, and that's Deadpool as a character.
Mhm.
But past that, there's not a reason to do any multiverse unless it's related to the Secret Wars. There's not a reason to add um, the same actor to a movie because you want to make a multiverse film. I don't see the point in doing that. I just want
Mhm.
them to move forward and make good stories. We still
Yeah.
have a Blade film that has not been made. No,
Yo,
seriously, like
okay, listen.
Wesley.
I had an idea, and I feel like they should have took my idea rather than getting Robert Downey Jr. They should have just scrapped Blade or hired a different actor and put Mahershala as Kang. Mahershala would have been an amazing Kang. He would have been
Oh, for sure,
fantastic.
older one too. A
You know
good
what I'm
older
saying?
Blade
Like they should
or
have just
good
did that,
older
and
Kang.
like it would have been all good. Like Mahershala Ali is that guy, and I'm gonna need him to get more role. Now that's someone that should be a movie star, 100%.
Oh, for
He
sure. Is I mean, he
he
has 2 Oscars. Like, there's
I
no
know he doesn't
reason
get
why
roles.
he shouldn't have a movie
You know what I'm
get
saying?
made. Like,
His first blockbuster is gonna be Jurassic Park. That's crazy.
yeah, and it's
That's
gonna come
crazy.
out before the Blade film, which is why I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't at all. At
I don't get
all.
it. I don't get
Man.
it. I don't
I
get
mean,
it.
look, so I also wanted to talk about um I'm trying to think which one of these topics. I wrote a few down.
But
Um
save the
let's
best for last. Save the best for
let
last, dog.
let's go with since we're still talking about kind of like movies and film real quick. I do want to talk about Bel-Air real fast cuz Bel-Air
Word.
just ended season 3. Um and like on a deep level, I kind of want to start with my opinion first.
Go ahead. Go
So,
ahead.
when it comes to Bel-Air, Will Smith was a genius in seeing how well it would transfer over to a drama. Now, I know it started with the whole fan made trailer and all that kind of stuff,
It did.
but Bel-Air, I like this is kind of blasphemous to say, but I got to say it. I think I'm liking Bel-Air the show better than Fresh Prince as a story.
Mm,
I like as a story, I feel like as a drama, it just makes more sense. Like it's the characters, especially making it in 2024. And I saw Will Smith actually say this in an interview. Like they're allowed to delve into things they weren't allowed to back in the 90s, just because like the times
yeah.
have changed. So talking more about like the black experience and the classism and like things like that, they weren't really able to dive into back in the 90s. And I think like fleshing out Hillary's character to be like an actual like person and not just, like a stupid joke. Um, I feel like that's been amazing. Jeffrey's character rewrite has been fantastic. That acting is on another level. Like the
It's good.
scene with like when Will got his family together, like his dad and his mom. That scene, man, I almost cried in the
Bro,
second to last episode when
Marlon
like
Wayans,
yes, he
he
killed
can
that.
act his
Bro.
bro. People forget
Oh,
Marlon Wayans. He went to
ooh.
Howard. He went to I think he went to like their school of acting or something like that
Oh
back
wow,
in the
okay.
day. So
I didn't
like
know
he's
that.
an actual real actor. And
like
plus, he was
trained.
on yeah, he's trained, and he was
Yeah.
in Living Color for years. He was on those
Mhm.
sitcoms, the Wayans Bros. So he can act. It's
Y'all
just
gotta check
people
out the
see
Club
him.
Shay Shay interview with, Mark. That
Oh,
was a
dude,
good interview.
I gotta watch that. I gotta watch that later.
I
But
saw a
like,
ton of clips. I didn't see the whole thing, but I saw a ton of clips. It was he was so much insight into his creative process, the Hollywood process in general, like just everything. It was really good
no, that's
behind the
real.
scenes
That's
stuff.
real, bro.
Yeah,
That's real. But in general, just the show is so good because it does a
amazing.
good job of just focusing on multiple characters and balancing them. And then
Yes.
also just it expands some of the subjects that were originally touched on in the first show or
Hmm.
in the original show, The Fresh Prince. So I feel like this one or the reboot, it gives them an opportunity to, like you said, touch up on subjects that weren't really acceptable at the time.
Yeah, they were like too
But it
taboo back
also
then.
can,
Yeah.
yeah, you can also, add more to characters. Carlton, his addiction.
Ah,
That I actually
Carlton's
like
character's
that.
been so good.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
like his
gosh.
character.
I almost
Um,
I almost like I was feeling so much. There were 2 scenes with him where like I was just feeling so much. One, when like he decided to throw the drugs out the window, like in the car.
Word.
That
That's
scene was
real.
like, and
That
then
was awesome.
also this scene, and I don't know if it's just because I'm a parent or what, but the scene where afterwards it's him and Aunt Viv, and like Aunt Viv like tells him like she'll never give up on him, and he was telling
Word.
her like how her messages were helping and this and that. I don't know, that just that pulled on my heartstrings for real. Like
That's real.
I almost made me cry, man.
But like for a because it originally was a short film, for it to go this
Was
far
it?
and become, yeah. So yeah, like the Fresh Prince thing, it was a short film written by Morgan Cooper,
Oh, I
and
thought it was a
then
trailer. I didn't know it
it
was a
I
whole short film.
yeah, so it's like a short, might have been like a trailer, like a teaser type thing.
Oh, okay.
But Will Smith, it trended. Will Smith saw it,
Yeah.
and yeah, Morgan Cooper took over as like an executive producer,
Hmm.
and the rest is history, bro. Like
It
this
is.
this show is the only reason why I'm keeping Peacock. So like, no, I'm
Facts.
being real. I'm being real with you.
Facts. No,
What
it's
shows are
true.
on Peacock right now? I can't
Man,
name
I
any.
I'll,
The
like,
only reason why I
rewatch
keep it is
Modern
because of
Family
Bel-Air.
sometimes, but
Okay,
yeah,
you're
there's
right. But
there's
other
not a
than
lot on there.
like the old classics,
Yeah,
um, that's the only show that I'm really watching like religiously on Peacock.
same,
So
same.
that's, yeah, it's a
I also
breath of
saw a
fresh air.
TikTok where you were saying that it was, like, the best finale wedding episode.
Yeah,
Um,
sense a
can
different
you talk
world.
about that a little bit?
Yeah, dude, it's kind of crazy that Bel Air is kind of paying homage to shows like A Different World because you remember. I don't know if you remember that last episode where Dwayne Wayne he pulls up to Whitley and he interrupts the
I
wedding and everything.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that, bro?
Nah,
Yeah, but that
it
was
was
like
a
one of
really
the
good finale,
biggest
though.
episodes. Yeah, it was a really good finale to that season. And I think this episode, like the last one in season 3, it pays homage to it, but Jazzy doesn't interrupt the wedding.
Mhm.
And then you see that ending where Hillary, I don't know, was it Ron? Was that her man's name?
LaMarcus.
Oh, Lamarcus, yeah,
Yeah.
Lamarcus. He damn near passed out. You don't know if he's dead. Leaves
Okay,
off
here's
on
the
that
thing.
cliffhanger.
I think he knew he was gonna die the whole time. I
That's
think he knew
crazy.
it.
I
That's
don't
my
think he
theory.
knew.
No, because look, there's signs. First sign, he didn't care about the prenup. That's the first sign.
Mm,
Second sign, he um made the wedding like a week later. Like he like rushed the date. Okay. And then also, I think that dialogue where Hillary was like, I don't want any more secrets between us. And then he was like, well, you're the only, I don't have any, or something like that. I think that dialogue being there was like also a, like, I think he was lying. I think he did have a
mm.
secret, but he just didn't want to say
Maybe he did.
it.
I don't
And
know.
so, like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, next season they like say something about how it's kind of like premeditated, like he just knew. Also, what's crazy is I did not know this either. I saw it on Twitter. I was like, oh, that's crazy. So him dying was a callback to the original because his middle name was Trevor, and Trevor was the guy
Okay.
that proposed to Hillary that jumped off the
Yeah, in the
bridge.
original show.
Yeah.
In the original show.
His middle name was
Yeah,
Trevor. And I was like, oh my God, these writers. I love that. I love that
dude.
Easter egg.
Yeah,
So
dude. There's a lot of callbacks, and they
yeah,
do
there's
it
a
so
lot.
well, man. They do it so well.
Also, old Jeffrey being like in the
Yeah,
show, like
he's like
that.
a mobster,
That was
dude.
fire.
I was like, okay, they've done a really good job of putting a lot of the older actors in the new show.
They
I
have.
think the only person that really hasn't been there is obviously Will,
Hmm.
and then
That can't
who
happen though.
else?
That can't happen.
Yeah,
They can't do that.
yeah, because then he'll steal the thunder, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah, they can't do
it's just
that.
not really worth it. But
Has Nia Long been
Will
on there?
Neil Long, ooh, that would be a good one
They got
too.
Nia Long, Tyra Banks,
Yeah, that's right, dude. He had a lot of love
Vivica
interest in that
Fox.
show.
Yeah, he had just legends. Vivica Fox was in there.
That's
Um,
right.
I'm trying to think of other like cameo people. Man,
Yeah,
back
you
in the
got
day when shows used to have
Karen
cameos, that was crazy. Oh, was it
Karen
Queen
Parsons.
Latifah? Queen Latifah was in there, right? Or
She might have made some like appearances, I
why
think.
am I thinking Queen Latifah was in there?
Or
Hey,
I
can we
think
leave Trump out?
Will might have been. Yeah, you know, no.
Don't put Trump in there.
Hell no! Don't put that boy in there.
Don't do that,
That's funny,
please.
bro. But yeah, the only actor I think from the original show that hasn't been on it is Karen Parsons, Hillary, old Hillary.
Oh, old yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't made an
Wait,
appearance
was
from it.
light skin Aunt Viv in there?
I think so. Light skin
She
Aunt
was.
Viv and dark skin Viv.
Why do I not remember? I don't know, but that
Maybe
I feel like they do it in such a good way where the cameo isn't just a cameo. Like it is,
exactly that
like
like
I really like that
they're playing an integral role
in the
in the
story and
show
all that.
itself, like the story
Yes,
itself. So they're not taking up the. It's not just nostalgia bait. Like it actually, they're there, but they play a serious role in the story,
for sure, for
and it
sure.
doesn't
Okay,
take away from the progression of it.
absolutely. So, just one more question here about TV before we move on to music. Um, Outside of Bel-Air, what are some of like your favorite shows this year? Just like top of the head.
I gotta be honest, man. I've been running back some reruns, man.
That's all good.
Um,
What you been watching?
I've been watching Brooklyn Nine Nine.
Okay, funny as
Um,
hell.
yeah, it's a good show. But I've been watching what's that college show? Um,
I
that
need a
was
little
on
bit more than that.
BET.
On
It
beat.
was on
Ooh,
BET, where it's like the students they go back to school.
I
Yeah,
don't
so
know.
it's this. I think it's Celebrity. I don't know, but Ray J's on it, bro, and I've been watching that, and that shit is
Hmm.
hilarious. Um, is it The Hill? College Hill. I've been watching
College
College
Hill.
Hill. Yeah, Celebrity Edition
I
on
always have
Netflix.
like a show I'm like watching in the background that I'm not really paying attention to much. And right now
That's
for
this
me,
is that's that show for me,
yeah,
literally. Yeah.
my
Because
my
it's
show for that
silly.
right now is Ted Lasso. I've been
Okay,
watching Ted Lasso a lot. Have you seen Ted?
word.
Have you
I
seen
think
that?
I've seen up to season 2. It's not bad.
I love
It's not
Ted
bad at
Lasso.
all.
Um,
It's very casual. It's nothing
yeah, it is.
crazy.
I think some of my favorite shows I always rattle off from this year is like Shogun,
Nah, Shogun was good.
Fallout.
Woo! Shogun, bro.
Um,
It
what
deserved all those
else?
Emmys, man.
I just watched this show called Presumed Innocent on Apple TV. Bruh. Do you watch any well, you just say you watch Ted
Ooh,
Lasso,
with
but do you
Jake
watch any other
Gyllenhaal.
Apple TV?
Apple TV. Nah, I'll be honest with you,
Yo,
man. My streaming
I'm
services right now, it's HBO,
I'm telling
uh,
you, Apple
Paramount.
TV is the best right now. I'm telling you.
Word.
They put everything
Okay,
to shame. You gotta check out their best shows. Like
I'm gonna check it out.
everything I watch on Apple TV is like damn near perfect. Like so
Okay.
good.
I didn't
Um
realize they were doing that great, man.
Yeah, I
Dang.
think like honestly, it feels like they've replaced HBO is like the center of having like those like prestigious like shows
The
where it's
number one
like just super
shows.
high quality.
Yeah,
Um,
because it used to
the
be like the HBO originals; those were really
yeah,
good, and like HBO was on top for a while. Then Hulu kind of stole that thunder. Hulu was
mm-hmm,
putting out bangers back to back.
yep.
Now, I think the number one streaming service. I don't know. It might be Apple TV. It
It
might
is for
be.
me because like Max only has like Game of Thrones.
That's
Succession is
right.
over. I just watched Succession for the first time. That show was 100 out of 10
Amazing.
for me. I love
I
Succession.
gotta
That was
watch
good.
it.
That was
I gotta
good. But yeah,
watch
they don't
it.
really have like a lot of running shows anymore.
That's
You know,
right.
like 2 years between shows now for like
Mm.
everything. So
Yeah.
um yeah,
Amazon. I've been watching Amazon Prime
yeah,
religiously.
Prime has some good stuff.
The Boys. Yeah, I gotta expand my my palette. I gotta figure out some more shows to watch.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna text you and tell you some stuff you gotta
Bet.
watch.
Put me on,
When
bro.
I
Put
I
me
need some
on.
time to remember what I've been watching. But yeah, for y'all that are watching, my quick recommendations: Fallout, Shogun, Presumed Innocent. Those are my three I would recommend for
Word.
sure.
That's what's up.
Um, okay, since we're talking about lists, did you happen to see the complex top 20 rappers in their 20s? Did you see that list?
I did. I saw Megan on there. Who else did I see? Playboy
Hmm.
Cardi was number one, which is
Yeah, he
crazy.
was. I
Um,
I Okay, before we get into the list completely, I just have a question for you. How
yeah.
are you feeling about, I guess, rap in general, like in 2024? How are you like feeling about the genre?
I think mainstream rap, um, there's a lack of variety. But if you're someone that loves rap and listens to rap, you would know that it's more diverse than it's ever been. I just
Mm,
think that they're not seeing rap for what it actually is, like in its entirety.
mm-hmm,
But I think that's mostly just attributed to just the record labels having a particular artist that they love to sign, having a particular sound that they like to hear, and maybe
mm-hmm,
just young people. Maybe it's just we don't have a palette like other people used to have back in the day. Now it's like the TikTok sounds are taking over.
mm,
Now it's people don't really like listening to albums. They just like listening to that single. So
yep,
I think music is it's definitely changing, but it's it's diverse. There's so many artists out there. Like I'm listening to Boldy James, I'm listening to Freddie Gibbs, I'm listening
mm-hmm.
to younger
Freddie.
artists too, like Cash Cobain. I'm listening to um I mean, there's so many artists out right now. The Big Sean's, the Coles, all that stuff.
Love
There's
Sean.
mainstream stuff out there. But every now and then, yeah, I'm listening to a Cardi. I'm listening to Ken Carson,
Mm-hmm.
who's amazing. Like Ken Carson he's immaculate. Like his
So you
music
got like a
never
very
misses.
diverse
I would say so.
amount of like artists that you listen to. Like, what about
Exactly,
is
I'd say
is
so.
rap like your favorite genre or is it something else?
It's one of them. I
Mm-hmm.
would say it's one of them because I'm listening to R&B. I'm listening to other categories. Like I don't
Mm-hmm.
have a particular genre that I only listen to. I feel like I just love good artists.
I hear you. So I had asked this about the movies too, but like with music, like what does music mean to you? Like what's the importance? What's the passion? What's the love with that?
I mean, it all just boils down to art, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with film, bro. Like to me, it's are you able to capture a moment in history, or is your does your music resonate with people? Is there a time and a place where you play this record and it makes you think about your time in college or your time
Mm,
in at this particular event? Like I feel like there's a time and place for music, and kind of makes it that's what makes it feel like that's what makes it resonate with me. Like if it really
yeah.
sticks with me, if it's culturally relevant, if it's culturally impactful, if it's different, if it has a new sound, that's what really matters to me. Just the artistic side of things,
Mm-hmm.
and also just the it all boils down to meaning.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like we're kind of in this era where a lot of those things are starting to not matter, and
Okay.
that's unfortunate. But art, man, that's all it boils down to,
I
the
had
art of things.
there's kind of like this through line
Culture.
here of when you were talking about movies and now you're talking about music and both times you kind of mentioned this idea of like the importance of it, how it affects things culturally. Um
Exactly.
What is it about kind of like when movies, music kind of just get like in the cultural zeitgeist? Like why is that like important to you?
Um, I mean, I think culture can tell you a lot about the time period and the history and the conditions that people are in, or
Mhm.
just the state of being. So I feel like, yeah, I think it's more or less about what people are feeling at that time period or what people are feeling now.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's
Kinda
really
just like
the only
this
way I can
the
really
art
describe it.
just kinda like the art being this, like,
It's a reflection
marking of,
of
like, history, like, where we're at, this, like,
yeah, that's what
collective
I'm saying, man.
consciousness of, like, what's going on and, like,
Exactly.
marking its place in history. Like, when you go, 20 years from now, you listen to a song that kinda was, culturally really relevant today, it kinda, like, brings you back and, like, kinda like a soundtrack to your life kinda thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No,
Absolutely,
I feel
man.
you with that. I love when, especially today, because I feel like when I was growing up, it was kind of like this just as a general thing. But the idea of like a monoculture and us sharing in things is kind of ending due to everyone having like
Agreed.
their own personal algorithms and things like that. And it's
Yeah,
really hard for something to like reach just like take over the mainstream. It's like damn near
it
impossible
is.
now. But it's really
Yeah,
cool when it does because like we're all like sharing in it and enjoying it and like having conversations and stuff. But yeah, it's like
yeah.
really few and far between now. Like it's crazy. Like I remember that was like something a lot of people like during quarantine was that we were all kind of engaging in all this media at the same exact time. Like I
Exactly. We had
remember
no
like
choice.
WandaVision came out and it was like everybody was watching it. It was like we were all like part of this experience.
Yeah,
And like yeah, it's like movies still do that cuz like we still go to the theater to like watch it. So it's like we're all kind of like sharing in that experience. But like with music, it's like some of these songs that go number one, I've never heard them in my life. It's
yeah,
like, and before it'd be like everybody would hear it, whether it was on the radio or MTV, BET on the countdowns or whatever. And like, yeah,
yeah,
it's really hard. Like, I don't like that about music right now. I don't like how you you can't really be a superstar anymore. Like some people will break through, but it's like
yeah.
ridiculous. And it's like
Dude,
you're basically
you're
like a
right.
superstar of like your own bubble
Genre.
on like
Yeah,
the internet. I don't
and
know.
I
How you
feel
feel
like
about that?
yeah, no, you're definitely seeing that with black musicians too, like just R&B acts,
Mhm.
rappers. They'll be like your handful that break out, but then you see like your Chloe Baileys, your Victoria Monets, and your Coco Jones. They're still stuck in that little bubble where they're trying to
Yeah.
just break out and become like major artists, but they're not
Mhm.
getting that visibility. They're not getting that same
It's so
visibility
hard
that
to.
your Tate McRae's are getting. And I
Mhm.
feel like it's kind of doing us a disservice because music is better when it's diverse. Music is better when there's multiple artists out that don't sound
Mhm.
the same. Like there's so many different flavors and sounds. And yeah, you're kind of right. Like everyone has their own fan base. There's not like a definitive number one that we can like that the culture is choosing as like the best. But I feel like
Mhm.
it's mostly attributed to the era of streaming and like you were saying, just algorithms. Like
Yeah.
music is not the same as it's been. It will never be, I don't think, but who knows, it could change. Like
I hope it
this 20 years
somehow
different.
changes back to a way of like okay, so for content creation for me, like I started out as a music reactor and I've kind of shifted away from that now cuz I just I just got tired of doing reactions.
Yeah.
But talking music online and like I don't know how it is as just like a regular like everyday person that's not like a content creator, but like as a content creator, like talking music to me now is like so like
It's
painful.
exhausting.
Like yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah, it's like
exhausting.
it literally is like mentally painful to me um because of I feel like it's like the way that fan bases interact with me.
Oh,
I
for
feel
sure.
like it's like
Barbs, Swifties,
just
um,
all the different
Drake fans, Kendrick
yeah.
fans, whatever it is, man. Like
And
it's
it's
no
really not
longer
even like
about
some stand bases get a worse rep than others, but like at the end of the day, it's like if you accidentally get like on the wrong part of the algorithm for like any of these artists that have stands, it's like you will get
you're done.
wrecked.
You're getting
You
doxxed. You're
yeah,
screwed.
you get
Like that
wrecked.
whole situation with the Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion beef. That
Yeah,
was none of that was about music, which was crazy to
bro,
me.
you don't got to tell me. So a lot of my audience originally was Barb's, because like when I was doing music reactions, like I like Nicki, so I was
Same.
doing a
I
lot
like
of Nicki
Nicki,
reactions.
bro. We all like Nicki.
Yeah, but I got put into a conspiracy theory though, and now none of the barbs like me. So,
That's
because I
crazy.
had posted like shout out to Meg going #1 independent or whatever, and now everyone
Wow.
thinks that I'm being paid off by Rock Nation.
Maybe that, and that's the thing,
Yes.
man. Maybe that was just your opinion.
No, it
Like
was like yeah, like
there's
I
nothing there's
like
nothing deeper than that.
it was definitely nothing deeper than that. Like it was just I thought it was cool like that she got out of her label and then went #1. Like I think that's cool. That's
Exactly.
dope. Um,
And we do have to give her credit because the whole his situation, that was, I mean, that was the catalyst for the whole Kendrick thing in the first place. So I feel
you
like
think so? I hear people say that, but I don't ever get that connection. Like I don't know.
I
Explain it to
I
me.
think it was just this year has kind of been the year that rappers have been airing things out, just
Mm,
talking about,
well, that's
you
true.
know, the things that are going on in the industry and the things that are going on and with their peers.
Hmm.
So I felt like she definitely started that. But the whole Kendrick and Drake thing, that was that was on a whole nother level.
That yeah, that was
This I'm I don't know how old you are, but
30.
okay, so I'm 25, man. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. I've only seen the Meek and Drake beef. I've
Hmm.
seen the Joe Budden and Drake beef. I've never seen anything this impactful, this big
Hmm.
ever in
Yeah,
music. I
no, it
never
was.
got to experience that.
I don't think anybody. I mean, I guess the only other thing that would have been any type of equivalent was like the whole Biggie Tupac thing,
For
um,
sure.
because that was also like the two biggest rappers at the time, and now we have like
Exactly.
the two of the biggest rappers now.
Yeah.
Um, but now we got social media, so now
Yeah,
it's like
which
you
heightened it
have
into a
yeah
global phenomenon. So
yeah
like you had people from China like talking about this, man.
right.
Like, and I never thought it would be this big
Me
because
neither.
I just don't really get caught up in the social media stuff. For me, it's just
Hmm.
about the music. It's about what you're saying.
Hmm.
And dude, when they were airing each other out back to back and they were releasing records, like I was in class, bro. I was in class. No, seriously, I was in class. I was preparing
uh,
for finals, and they're talking about like, yo, Kendrick dropped again. And I'm
yeah,
like, what the hell,
that
bro?
was
Like, this
crazy.
is, it was like war. That's
It
what it really
was.
felt like. It felt like a battleground, like war back and forth. And I'm glad that both of them, they aired it out. They, they just let the curtains just flow out, man. And like, they aired everything out. And it's good
Listen.
to see them, both of them as competitors because rap is a sport, rap is
Hmm.
competition. And people don't understand that. They think that it's not a merit based sport. They think it's about popularity, it's about sales, it's about
Hmm.
things that don't matter. It's about all these metrics on streaming. It's really not. We just had to boil it. It has you have to go back to what the art form was created for.
Hmm.
And for me, it's if it's about just like the creative ability of rappers, that's all I want to hear about, bro.
Yo,
I
listen.
don't care about streams. I don't care about the 100 gigs. I don't care about how
Hmm.
many people listen to your music. For me, it's just about your craft.
The
And
art.
Kendrick won. Kendrick beat Drake at
Oh,
his own game, which is
he,
just that's my opinion.
I feel like he won in every possible way. Like any
Every
type of
metrics,
like
every metric.
category you could, yeah, like it was, and like I knew Kendrick was gonna win. Kendrick's my favorite artist, so I don't know. I just
Yeah,
I could have
I
been
think
biased, whatever.
Dot is definitely one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, and but I did not know when Not Like Us came out. I knew it was gonna be big. I did not know it was gonna turn into what it turned into. I did not
Me
think that.
neither. No one
Especially
did.
because like it's a great vibe and everything like that, but it's completely West Coast, and I
It
don't
is.
think
We
when's
never
the like
seen that from
last
Kendrick.
time a West Coast song went mainstream like that? Like
Probably in the
never.
'90s.
Like that's why I was about to, yeah, like with Snoop and Dre and stuff. Like you don't get
Yeah,
and so like that was crazy. And then yeah, but talking about like talking about as a content creator, talking about Kendrick and Drake is also so tiring right now.
it
Oh my
is.
god.
It is.
Especially this week with the whole Super Bowl thing, bro. Like there's so many narratives going
Yeah.
around and this and that. Um but
Give
like
me
when
your
it does come
thoughts.
to the Super Bowl, hold on, actually, wait, real quick. Staying on the beef real quick. You had said,
Yeah.
you had never experienced anything like that before. Like, what was it about? what was going on with the beef that just really like, I don't know, like drew you in or like got you
Resonated
excited?
with
Like
me.
what really was
I
it?
think I think
I feel like
this
it's
is
like different
personal.
things for different people.
Yeah, yeah, for me it was entertainment.
Mhm.
But it also it's a reflection of the time that we're in hip hop.
Mm.
Um, you have an artist who is, someone who's kind of manufactured this persona, and he's successful because of that. But we have a lot of fakers in the industry that are trying to sell artists and package them in a certain way, and I think that's just not really good for hip hop in general.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what Drake represents. He's palatable. He is he is what you want in a musician
Mhm.
or a rapper in general. He's someone that you could sell to everyone, but he lacks
Yeah.
the just I would say the creativity. If you have a ghostwriter, you're not
Mhm.
as creative. If you have a team behind you that's kind of manufacturing this idea of Drake, it's not the
Mhm.
same as someone who grew up in this lifestyle like Kendrick, who
Mhm.
grew up as a battle rapper, who would, you know, freestyle off Rosecrans and stuff like that. So it's to me it's an ideology or it's like ideologies that were clashing at the time, and I think Kendrick he's done.
That's a good
He's
point.
and that's why he released that new record. Like he's trying to watch the party die. He's just trying to shift the conscious in rap music, and I feel like
Facts.
that's what he was trying to do at the time, and that's what he's still trying to do with the Super Bowl. I mean, it's probably gonna be I don't know how many people are gonna be watching it, man, but like 60
Oh,
million at the pop out.
yeah.
Who
That's
knows?
what I'm
It's
saying.
gonna be a lot bigger.
It's gonna be
It's gonna be a
huge.
lot bigger.
And
It's gonna
like,
be
you saying the whole clashing of the ideologies, I always like to tell people this. I can't remember where I got this from at this point. Maybe it was that documentary on Netflix, Hip Hop Evolution. It might have been from there. But there's this pendulum that happens in rap, and it's like been there the whole time where you go from kind of like this unfiltered, raw, um,
gangster
rap
shit.
style, right? Kind of like a Kendrick or an NWA or like DMX, like people like that. And it goes from that, and then it goes into like the riches, where it's more
Yeah,
about like the business and like the Jay
the
Z's,
bling
the
bling era in the early
yeah, yeah, yeah.
2000s.
And
Like
then so, because then like a great example of this is like, I know he's like, I gotta say his name, he who shall not be named, but like when Diddy came in and did like his whole thing, and it was like the excess and the jewels and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, so the hip hop pendulum swings back. So like then you had going into like the late 2000s, you kind of had it going back to like kind of like some dance fun, like Soldier Boy and all that.
yeah,
And then it kind of
that's
went swung back again during like the blog era, and so it kind of has that like pendulum swing to it. So I definitely feel like it's gonna swing back into like the Kendrick style. I can see that happening.
it is
Um,
commercial conscious music that means
something.
something.
Yeah. I got a
That
question
has
for
a
you real
deeper
quick
meaning
though.
to it.
So this is a question I ask people that are like really involved in hip hop, because I feel like it always leads to some interesting answers. Um, if hip hop was born out of being anti-establishment,
Mm.
how does it survive now that it's become the establishment?
That's a good question because I mean, you could look at rock music, which was originally
Yeah, like the
anti-establishment.
punk rock. Yeah, 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 for sure.
The punk rock stuff, a lot of the early 1950s rock
Mhm.
and roll, classic rock and roll. You had guys like Chuck Berry, like it seems like Black American music. A lot of it is kind of it's inspired by our experiences and the things that we go through, but a lot of times as other people get their hands on it, it becomes something else. And
Mm,
I think what needs to happen is,
preach.
we have to take the power back, and it needs to be more or less about what the community needs and less about what the industry wants.
Ooh.
Rap music to me
Mm.
can only survive and only thrive if we have control of it. And I think it's gonna die if we continue to let it be bastardized and misused. So I think how does it survive? I mean, that's a good question. I don't know.
I mean, I think you just gave a pretty good answer. I think
You have to, yeah.
that's a clip right
That,
there. Like that was that was a great answer, bro.
rap music
I,
will only thrive if we allow it to, and if we change the consciousness back in music. And I'm not saying that mainstream music Future is bad. I'm listening to Future. I'm listening to all these guys. When I go
yeah,
to the
there's a place
gym,
for
like
all of it.
there's a place for all of it, but the
Hmm.
mainstream needs to understand and the industry needs to understand that we need variety.
Yeah.
We don't need the same thing over and over again. We don't need artists that are fabricated. We don't need artists that are manufactured. We need artists that are authentic. We need artists that have a message. We need people that matter, that people that care about the art form itself
Hmm.
in order for the art form to thrive. And that's what I think we're going through.
Hmm. And I think you're right about that. And like when we're talking about the youth, like because I had brought it, we didn't really talk about it, but the top 20 rappers in their 20s, I think you're seeing that missing aspect of that. I don't even want to call it conscious rap. I feel like conscious rap is a terrible term for,
It
um,
is.
you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't
It's
have
a
to
it's a
be
blanket term.
deep.
It's a blanket term.
Yeah, yeah. It
You don't
doesn't
have
need
to
to
be
be deep.
deep.
It's cultural.
It's
It's
authenticity.
there you
It's
go. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And so, like, when you look at this list, I'm just gonna read it off real quick. So I'm gonna start with 20 and then go to one. So Cobain, Jack Harlow, Bossman, D-Lo, Baby Keem, Young Boy, Sexy Red, V's, Doechii, Ken Carson, Uzi, Chief Keef, Lil Baby, Yachty, Glorilla, Lotto, Yeet, Meg, Central C, Doja, and Playboy, Cardi. Um, and it's like, so that's like a lot of just mainstream kind of like trap music and all that kind of stuff, which I mean
Agree.
it does have its place. But like when I'm looking at this list, the only person I'm kind of seeing that's on that whole like wave that we're talking about is Doechii. And like Baby
I mean,
Keem.
I'd say Doja, kind of.
So Doja, okay, Doja, I think, is being trapped in her contract. Like, I think
Mm,
she wants to make different music than she's making. I think that was clear
word.
with Scarlett.
Yeah,
But even with Scarlett, like she said, she put "Paint the Town Red" on there because she knew she needed like a commercial hit and all that kind of stuff.
exactly.
So it's like I think when she gets out of her contract and gets like more creative control,
She'll be big.
I'm really interested in seeing how that plays with her art and like what's going to happen, because the last
I'm
couple
with
years
you.
you can clearly see Doja is like done with the industry and the politics and all that. Like she doesn't want to deal with that anymore. So I'm really curious about where Doja is going to go. And then yeah,
Yeah,
Dochi's the truth. I've been saying Dochi's
Dochi's
gonna
freaking
be
amazing.
a
That
superstar for
mixtape,
like 3 years at this point. Like
that
she's
mixtape was not like anything I've heard in a minute.
yes, it was
Um,
fantastic.
dude, freaking good, freaking good. I think she's gonna be up and coming for sure. And you hear a lot of when I was listening to, it, I was like, yo, there's some Tyler in there,
Yeah,
there's
she
some
has a lot
Kendrick
of
in
different
there.
influences.
There's a lot of different influences, but it's
Hmm.
her. And I really like that about her, and I think she's going to be very successful in the future. And I think with this new shift happening, she's if she can get the connections and start making good records,
Hmm.
she'll be okay.
I mean, you can tell like
She's gonna have a
she's
long
definitely about
career,
the art and the craft and all that kind of
and
stuff. A
she can rap
hundred
her
percent.
ass off too. She can
Yeah.
rap her ass off, bro. So
I think if
I vibe with
someone
that.
was to finally take over like female rap above Nicki, I could see Doechii doing it in the future for
Same.
sure.
I see Dochi. I was thinking Doja,
I
but
think Doja commercially can kind of commercially Doja is definitely going to be gigantic for a really long time.
she'll be
Talent and
big.
skill wise, I see Doechii just like
Lapping
taking
them.
off,
Yeah,
like
she's lapping
once
everybody.
in a
It's
generation
not even.
type artist right there, in my opinion.
I
Um,
agree.
and
TDE, bro, they never miss. TDE, they got. I mean, you got to think, man. No Kendrick, and you're still doing numbers.
right, so
Like
they get
they're doing something right.
Kendrick leaves, and then you immediately have SZA turn into a superstar, right? And
Boom.
then people are saying Schoolboy has one of the best rap albums of the year.
Yeah, that's
People
a
always say that oh, why am I blanking? Oh my god,
sir,
why am I blanking on his name?
Sir's out here, bro.
No.
Sir just put out an amazing
Um,
R&B album, bro.
what's his name? Is it Isaiah?
Absol,
Is it
Isaiah
Isaiah
Rashad,
Rashad? There you
man.
go. People always say that his albums are like some of the best of the year. And then yeah, now you got Doechii, who's gonna like whenever her debut album comes out, it's gonna just be like outrageous. So they get like, yeah, TDE definitely did a great job with that
Facts.
Kendrick void, 100%.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying, man. And it's cool that they still have a relationship regardless of them parting ways,
oh yeah,
which
yeah,
I really
yeah.
like, man.
You can tell
Really
that
vibe
Kendrick
with
just
that.
wanted to start PG Lane because like he wants to get into entertainment even past rap.
Exactly.
Like I
Exactly.
could see him directing something.
Yeah,
Um,
he is. He's making a film with the brothers that did South Park. So he's
I
gonna be
thought, what
making a
is
film with
he
them.
involved? I thought, is he producing it or is like he involved
I
in?
think I think he's producing it. I don't know if he's gonna be in it,
Yeah,
but yeah, he's already making those business connections and relationships.
yeah.
And I think Dave Free,
He's
with
a
everything that
visionary.
he's been doing, he's a visionary.
He's a visionary.
He's doing numbers. He's killing it out here, man. I think
Hmm.
he has the opportunity to be a full fledged director like a John Singleton
That'd be
if you give it
dope.
some time.
That would be dope. Um, so last topic here before we get off of here, uh, and do our fun Patreon video that y'all should check out. um, we got to talk about the Super Bowl. Like we got to
Okay.
get our feelings out about the Super Bowl. Um, where should we start? I guess you could start wherever you want to start. There's discourse, all like there's so
I
much
mean,
going
we
on
got to
with the
talk
Super
about
Bowl.
Wheezy, man.
All right, let's do it.
That
Let's
boy
start with
Wheezy,
Wayne. Let's start with Wayne.
it's crazy, man. That boy Wheezy, he released that video, man. He's
Hmm.
over here crying. He's over here. I've
I
never seen
had
that
no
man cry in
problem
my
with the
life.
video at all.
I thought he was tougher than Nigerian Harry. Mama, like, nah, I'm being so serious, man. But I've seen Wayne.
Hmm.
I've seen Wayne live.
Hmm.
There is no world where he's a better performer than Kendrick Lamar. It's
Oh
not
no,
happening.
Kendrick's once in a
That
generation
that's
performer.
foolishness. That's silly. 10
Yeah.
years ago, if you were to ask me to choose an artist, Wayne or Kendrick, maybe I choose Wayne. But now, I mean, he's past his prime. He's past his prime. He's 40 something. He's I hate to say it, but he's a junkie, man. he, he's a junkie, bro.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
even the Grammy performances. I don't know if you've seen his recent performances. Like he was at Colorado.
I
He
haven't
wasn't
seen
censoring his
anything. I
music,
haven't seen nothing.
and yeah, like he was at one of the Colorado football games last
Hmm.
year, and he was like rapping during the halftime or like the opening, and yeah, he's just not palatable for that audience, I would say. And he's not the best performer in rap. He's not the best performer, but he is one of the greatest MCs of all time. Like I'd say top 10.
So I think Wayne's my number one, to be honest. Like all time.
Word.
I'm putting
Okay.
him number one. Um,
I don't blame you. I like Wayne too. I'm putting him in my top five
yeah, I think and you're right. Like, okay, it's hard for me because I think those artists you listen to in your informative years kind of stay with you like your whole life.
for sure.
And so
Absolutely.
Wayne came out when I was like in high. Now he didn't come out with, but he blew up with like
As a solo
like
artist, he blew
Dedication
up like
3,
the
Carter
early
3,
yeah,
No Ceilings. All of that was
early
when I was in high
2000s,
school.
right? Yeah.
So it was like there's been no rapper, not even Drake in my opinion, since Wayne that has had the level like where Wayne was as a like rapper slash celebrity like in the hip hop
He was
world.
big.
He There hasn't been someone like that like in 2008. Like there just
It's
had like
massive.
no one's gotten there. Um and I feel like that's hard for people to understand right now because of it's I think for young people it's hard to understand how big celebrities were in the past because there was like a
We didn't see it.
huge celebrity what's the word I'm looking for, like glorification or praise or whatever, like that's how like
Yeah. Or the
America used to be. Yeah,
admiration,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
And so I know it's 2024 now, and I mean Carter 5 came out like 6 years ago already. um so I get it, he's kind of like a legacy act a little bit to a lot of people now. But yeah, I was really happy Kendrick got the slot because like I said, he's my number one. Like he's my favorite artist.
Yeah.
But I think I don't know why people are mad, and it seems I don't know if you're mad or you just didn't like it or something. But like with the video that Wayne did, I just felt like he's been vocal about wanting to get the Super Bowl because it's like in New
Great.
Orleans, right? And
Yeah.
he was just sad he didn't get it. Like what's so wrong about that?
I feel
What's
you.
so bad about
I
that?
feel you. I just I don't know. I wouldn't have publicly done that because it kind of makes it seem like you're burning bridges. And who knows? Maybe Kendrick can make it happen. Maybe Kendrick's gonna call him up, and they hop on stage together.
Mhm.
Possibly that could be something that could happen.
I can see it
But
happening if Wayne
if
puts the
Kendrick doesn't do Not
city
Like Us.
before, like, the beef and all that. Like, if it's, like,
Mm,
that important for him to pop out for the city, I could see him maybe because I mean, it's still a while to the Super Bowl. It's still, like, 5 months
it
away,
is.
so, like,
It is.
there could be a lot of phone calls and conversations and this and that that happen, but also I wasn't surprised that he didn't congratulate Kendrick because of the beef. I
Mm,
don't know why people
yeah.
thought he would do that either.
Yeah.
Um, but the only reason I think the video is a problem is just because of all the discourse that's come before the video.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if he released that video without all of the everything that's been happening on social media, like, people wouldn't even like care that much.
I agree. I agree. And let's be real, man. Were people really checking for Wayne before this whole beef thing? And before he was even in consideration for the Super Bowl? Because I saw Wayne personally,
Mhm.
and like I said, like as a Wayne fan,
Mhm.
I'm gonna gravitate towards his music. But like the
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 performance just ain't there.
mainstream, yeah, just the performance isn't there. Like the mainstream, this is one of the biggest performances in the world. Like
Mhm.
people like to question Wayne's professionalism, and he's done events like the Grammys, and he
Mhm.
hasn't been attending like the practices or the rehearsals or whatever, stuff
Mhm.
like that. So it's like the professionalism is part of it, but it's also just the business behind things. And I think the year that Kendrick has been having is one of the biggest years in hip hop. And who better to tap
Oh yeah, no, like
than the
it.
guy who won the biggest rap battle in the world?
And the
Like
funny thing
there's
is, the Grammys are a week before.
exactly. The
It's gonna be
Grammys
funny.
are a week before, so it's like Kendrick. Not only is Kendrick gonna win some awards during the Grammys, he's gonna go straight to the Super Bowl,
And
and
release
then
an album at some point.
exactly,
Like,
probably he might release an
the
album within the next couple of weeks. Who knows? But yeah, he's on a run
I mean, he's the
like no
biggest
other.
pop icon of the year, like, for sure.
I agree.
You know, like, people
I
always
mean,
say
that is
Taylor
if you
Swift.
listen to rap. Yeah.
No, I think this beef has transcended rap, 100%. I
Okay, you think so?
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure.
I don't
Especially
know.
now that he got the Super Bowl gig, like, that's gonna, like, take it to, like, a whole whole 'nother level of people knowing about the beef and stuff like that. Like, bro, Not Like Us was played at the NBA Finals, the Olympics, and the Democratic National Convention. Like,
National
it
Congress, your
transcended rap for
convention. Yeah,
sure.
that's crazy.
It's
Yeah,
really insane, like
biggest song in the world, and it's out here calling Drake a PDF file.
yes.
Like that's crazy. He's gonna have
People
70
two-stepping
thousand
to it.
people in the Super Bowl in the stadium saying certified PDF file. Like
Right?
that's just crazy.
Outrageous, outrageous. Like, and I think, okay, this is what I think is gonna happen because people are saying, like, what parts of the song is he actually gonna be able to perform? I think what's gonna happen is, like, obviously he'll censor himself in some words here or there,
No,
but
he
what's
does
gonna
that all the
happen?
time.
He's going to do exactly what he did at the pop out, in my opinion. He's gonna get to the A minor line, and then that'll transition
Put that
like
mic
into
out.
yeah, and that'll like transition to another song. 100%. That's what's gonna happen. 100%. And what's crazy is I think if he censors himself, the whole crowd's still just gonna be like
They're still
yelling it
gonna
out.
say it.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, Drake, bro, you think Drake
saying?
he's gonna send out those cease and desist?
Man, I look, all I know is if I'm Drake, I'm turning off the halftime show. And I'm not going out for the Super Bowl. You can't be in no bar with
He should have took a break, man.
Oh, he's
He
like
should have
0
took
for
a break.
52 since the beef.
My
He,
God.
his songs have been bad. I don't know if you've heard this snippet that just came out with the Rod Wave joint. Have you heard that?
I'm not gonna lie, I actually kind of like that.
I
The
okay.
other ones have been trash. Not gonna lie, the 100 gigs, the 200 gigs,
Yeah.
whatever it is, trash. But
I
the Rod Wave one, I'm like, okay, that's your bag. Stay in the singing bag.
So I don't know if the beef actually had like a gigantic effect on how I listen to Drake because Drake is always my number one listen to artist like every year, right? But he won't be
Same.
this year, and I don't know if it's because of the beef or if the music Drake is dropping just ain't for me. I don't know which one it is, but like I can't get into his music right now. Like I
I'm
can't
with
get
you.
into it.
Yeah, you can't see him the same. And it's kind of like the
I
Meek effect. Like when Meek lost
Yeah,
his music, it just everything plummeted.
it did.
But it doesn't have to be that way. It just has to be, he lost the battle, move on.
I know,
It's
I'm trying to. It's like a subconscious thing for me or something because I
it's the
don't.
persona. You change, like if you lose something this big, like it changes the public persona.
Yeah, like, and I just need him to like drop. I don't know, like all the songs he's dropped since, like I haven't liked any of them, and I've
Yeah,
given them a fair shot. Like they just seem
he's doing
very
too
like
much.
uninspired, and like he's kind of just throwing verses out there.
Agreed.
Like because like you could tell even during the beef, like even when he was losing, like his beef, like those songs were very inspired. Like we haven't heard Drake sound so inspired in like a long time. Um,
He needs to take a break, man.
he
Go on a
does.
hiatus. You lost. Take off 2 years
I
and
said
come
he at
back.
least has to hibernate through the winter, but he ain't listening to
I
me.
agree. He's not gonna do it, man. He's gonna put out another album every 6 months, and I don't know. Like to me, his recent work hasn't really been that great. I
Yeah,
mean,
I don't know
I
why.
don't hate. Like I have a couple songs on CLB that I may like, but
Yeah,
for
I
the
got a few on
majority
there.
of it, it's kind of sporadic. He can release some songs that are good, but the majority of them it'll be like 8 out of 21, and
Yeah,
it's like,
I just
damn,
feel like
like
if
that's
he
not a good
would have
album.
like taken some songs from CLB, from Her Loss, from For All the
Mm,
Dogs, and like
I'm
didn't
with
release
you.
all of them within like 2 years and made like one album, he could have had another
Agreed.
classic.
Yeah, and that's part of the just
He could
the
have had another classic.
his approach as a musician. Like Kendrick is, I'm going to make one of the best albums you've ever heard,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna be on a hiatus for like 3 to 4 years, and then I'm gonna come back.
Well, see, here's the thing with
Drake,
Kendrick though. I know people think that about Kendrick now because of Mr. Morale, but like prior to that, he was like on a regular release schedule. Like he doesn't really take that long with albums, like outside of Mr. Morale. Like he was like on a 2 year um like window, like everybody was back in
that's
the
right,
day.
because he dropped in. Well, no, he dropped in
Because
2019,
he
so
did Section 80 was
2015,
no,
right?
Section 80 was 2011, and
Oh
then
dang,
Good Kid, Mad City was 2012, and then
you're
To
right.
Pimp a Butterfly was like two because Good Kid, Mad City came out at the end of
You're
2012,
right.
and
Yeah,
then To Pimp a
Pimp was
Butterfly came out
2015,
beginning of
16.
2015. So it was like
You're
two and a
right.
half years maybe. Damn was
Damn was
2017, so it was
2017.
2 years.
Then after that,
Was Mr. Morale, which took, but I
yeah,
mean, then you have like the Black Panther album. But yeah,
that counts.
he took like
That counts.
5 years, and like you had the pandemic in there. And then he said like
All of
yeah,
them classics, bro.
yeah, like
Like,
and so
come
like he
on.
really doesn't take that long. And then if he drops, soon, it's gonna be like another like 2 years, 2.5 years. So
Which is not bad.
that's like normal. So I don't know. I think it's like people that were young with when Damn came out, and then it took forever for Mr. Morale to come out. There's like this narrative that he takes a long time to make music, and like
Yeah,
he doesn't. I know he doesn't drop a lot of features in the meantime either, which I think it's become kind of like a norm to just drop like a ton of songs. But
yeah,
album wise, like yeah, he's just like on a typical schedule, like for all albums except one. Um,
yeah.
and like yeah, like when it comes to Kendrick, like you're saying, like it is gonna take time to make these type of albums that are like always so conceptual. Um, and that he wants
Exactly.
to live like throughout time. Like that takes
Agreed.
effort and energy and a ton of decision making, and like you can't just pump out something like that. Like it's just not
I
gonna
was
happen.
gonna I was just gonna say, man, like I was just listening to I was in the gym yesterday and then Rich Spirit came on, and it was kind of
Oh,
random
love
because
Rich Spirit.
I don't typically, it's not, I'm not saying, there's a time and a place for a Kendrick album, and I feel like I have to be in the comfort of my own home. Like I have to really be, no, seriously, it's kind of like when you watch your favorite movie, you want it
Hmm.
to be at the right time, the right place,
No, I get you.
and you want to be in the right mood.
Hmm.
Like that's what I have to do to listen to Kendrick. I have to mentally prepare myself.
Oh wow.
But when I was in the gym, bro,
Hmm.
this Rich Spirit
Hmm.
aged so well.
Bro,
There's so many
love that
songs on
song
that album on Mr. Morale that I feel like have stood the test of time over the 2 years.
for sure.
And I feel
I
like
feel like it actually aged really well because I didn't even like Mr.
it
Morale at the
did.
beginning. I didn't really
At
like it.
first I was like, okay, I'm not understanding the vibe. I don't
Yeah.
really know what this is. He's kind of, it seems like Baby Keem is kind of like bled off onto him or
Oh
something
yeah,
like
for
that. But
sure. He did a lot. Like the
yeah,
Baby Keem influence for sure. Definitely there.
oh for sure. But I
Yeah.
get it. He's trying to appeal to like the younger generation and everything. But I think this album was solid, bro. I think it was
Yeah.
solid from front to back. There's not a bad song on it. Like I couldn't listen to one. There's not one
There's
bad song.
there's a couple songs that I skip,
Yeah,
but
there's
more
songs
just
that you may
because.
not
Yeah,
care
yeah, yeah.
for, but it's not a bad album
I think the
whatsoever.
album as a whole definitely grew on me a lot.
Yeah,
Because like I said, like at the beginning, I was like, eh. And then like when I kind of got the message of the album and then like what each song is kind
exactly.
of doing to get to that message and all that, I was like, ooh, okay. I like where
Yeah,
we're going
it's
here.
dope, man. It makes you
Yeah.
appreciate the work a little bit more.
Yeah. And then Kendrick always does this thing, and I've been talking about this. This is kind of like my problem with Drake. So with these artists that I grew up looking up to, because like Kendrick's like 7 years older than me, I think. Um,
He's like
I like
34
when
or
these
36.
artists grow with me so I can continue to look up to
Exactly.
them, like as like
Exactly.
a big brother type of vibe. Which is why I like Big Sean's music too, because Big
Yeah.
Sean's like growing up with me. Like he's talking
He's a
about
father
being a
now.
dad and all that kind of stuff, right?
Exactly. And that's
And
when I'm
so
vibing with that.
yeah, and then like with Drake, like I started listening to him when I was like 14, 15 years old. And like he
Or
makes music for that age group and like has continued to make music for that age
for
group.
that age group.
And so
And
like I feel like I'm kind of aging out of it a little bit. And
agreed.
also Drake himself seems to have gotten like even like more immature with his music. Like we don't
Mm,
get songs like Too Much or anything like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
yeah.
just kind of, I don't know, like
Oh, they're the same age. Holy shit.
who?
Kendrick and Drake. Hold up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're both
Yeah,
37,
they're
which
both.
is crazy because
Yep.
you look at the subject matter and it's Kendrick, he's growing. He's
Mhm.
talking about his family. He's talking about his son, his daughter. Drake, it's I'm talking about hoes.
Yep.
And I get it. Some
No, I
people
get
like
like that's what you
hoes.
got to do to have that mainstream success. And also, I think the stuff Drake raps about is still his life. Like that's the lifestyle he
Oh, for
has, is like
sure.
the clubbing and all that still.
I agree.
Um. So hey,
That's
at
what he's
least
on. That's the season that he's in,
yeah.
and why would he rap about something different? It just wouldn't make much sense. But to me, it's I don't know. I'm not really with that, and I know I'm in my 20s. I've kind of moved on.
Mhm.
I'm in my career. I'm trying to be professional, and I listen to all types of music, man.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
it is kind of sad to see an artist not develop.
Yeah, that's
And I'm not
that's
saying that it's just Drake. I'm
yeah,
saying like when Hove was 37, his music was very different from when he was 30. Like Reasonable
exactly.
Doubt is not the same as American Gangster.
Mhm.
American Gangster is not the same as I'm trying to think of like albums that have come later. 444. Like
Mhm.
those were big transitions in his career, and I feel like artists should have the privilege to grow, to change, to get old, and it should be a cool thing to do that.
Yeah. And that's a
So
new thing for hip hop. Like it's a young
yeah,
genre, so we're
yeah,
starting to see.
dad rap,
Yeah,
dad
that's like
rap.
we're starting to
It's
see that for the first time, kind of like these aging superstars like Lil Wayne, like Jay-Z, like Eminem,
exactly,
and seeing like what and Nas and kind of seeing what that like
yeah,
turns into. And like yeah, that has its place too. And like I am not saying because I don't think Drake needs to like take my advice on what I'm saying, like grow up or whatever.
exactly.
I'm just saying, like, as a listener, that's where I'm starting to feel a disconnect. But of course, he's still going to
Agreed.
connect with that audience for sure. So I've been asking all my guests this. This is my outro question. I love the answers to these so far. What is one belief you have about yourself that you wish other people had about themselves as well?
I would say one belief: you're only gonna be as capable as you think you can be. I guess.
Mm,
Like if you tell yourself you cannot do something, like to me, I've to me that seems like quitting. I think if you believe that you can do anything and you experiment and if you aren't afraid of failure, if you miss your opportunity to learn from your failures, you're basically kind of just handicapping yourself to a certain degree. Like you're just
mm.
not allowing yourself to be the best version you can be. So I feel like, yeah, you're only as capable as you allow yourself to be. That's
You know, I really like
that's
how
my
you
one
said
belief.
it's like quitting because, like, essentially you're saying that even kind of before you start the action or whatever, you're kind of quitting like prematurely just based off of the
Agreed.
mindset. That's dope. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. Like
That's really
there's
cool.
this famous quote. I'm gonna try and pull it up, but like they said, failure is only failure if you miss the opportunity to grow. And
Mm,
I think like that's really like one of those things that I live by, and one of the things that I've learned throughout my career and my education. Um, you're only a failure if you accept failure. So that's yeah,
damn.
that's kind of how it works.
Bars. No, I appreciate you. Appreciate you answering that. And like, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, I agree wholeheartedly. I just do. That's a great message to end the episode with. So I appreciate that answer, man.
For sure.
So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up real quick, y'all. I just
That's
want to
what's up,
say,
man.
Justin, I appreciate you coming on here, bro. Like this was
It's no problem,
awesome.
bro.
Um, I want to leave the floor open for you real quick to, promo anything or anything like that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for
go ahead.
sure. Yeah, absolutely, man. Just go ahead and follow Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, just huge, double E. Yeah, just go ahead and follow all platforms, and I'm going to be talking about the same stuff on my page, and I'm going to be linking with some of y'all, some of my fellow creators and mutuals. So
Yes,
I'll be hanging around some of them when I go to Austin, and you'll see me. But Bobby, it's nice to meet you, man. I appreciate
yes,
you for bringing me on. Can't wait to be back. If you have some topics or things you want to talk about, man, just
for
let me
sure.
know. And
Yeah, no, we were
yeah,
vibing
I'm
good. I,
prepared.
I love this
Uh,
conversation.
dude, we had it was. I didn't think it'd be as long as it was, man. But I
I
was
know.
locked in
Yeah, me too. I feel like we could still go for like another hour.
for sure.
But yeah, all
I
the
could.
links for you, I'll put all that stuff in the description, in the comments, all that kind of stuff, so people can follow
Thank you.
you. Um,
I appreciate you.
but yeah, y'all, this was another episode of It's No Coincidence, your weekly dose of real talk and
Yes,
inspiration.
sir.
Leave below if you're in a place watching this or listening to this where you could comment on different topics and things like that you want me to discuss, guess you want. But yeah, y'all, we'll see y'all next time.
Bet. Peace.